Welcome to Ask an Expert, where a technical product expert answers questions from our customers. Hello, this is John Appleson, Marketing Manager with Pepperl+Fuchs. So welcome, Zach, and thanks for being here.
Hi, John. Thanks for asking me.
Zach, our first question comes from a customer who is looking for an ultrasonic sensor similar to the UC2000-30GM-E6R2. The width of the sensing range needs to be narrow, approximately less than 1/2 meter. Also, it should have a range of 2 meters and run on 24 volts DC. Zach, what can you recommend?
Unfortunately, due to the operation of an ultrasonic sensor, there are no options that can sense 2 meters away and keep the sound cone under 1/2 meter. You could do some adjustment to the sound cone width, but shrinking the sound cone will also decrease the detection rate. For this application, a photoelectric sensor may be the better solution, as light spot diameter would be well within their requirements.
This next customer is using a Namur OCT300 diffuse mode sensor in conjunction with a KCD2 barrier. He's trying to sense 5-gallon pails, both plastic and metal, and needs a shorter sensing distance that will work with this barrier. Zach, what can you suggest?
The photoelectric sensing options with a Namur output are extremely limited, so there are no better solutions for this application. However, the OCT300 does feature a sensitivity adjustment potentiometer, so they can set it to detect at a shorter distance. No need to change out this sensor.
This next customer would like to know if the NJ1.5-18GM-N-D-V1 inductive sensor is intrinsically safe and explosion proof. He says that there will be small amounts of cyclopentane present where the sensor is used.
This Namur sensor on its own would not be intrinsically safe. It would need to be paired with an appropriate isolated barrier in order to meet those requirements.
For this next application, a customer is looking for an inductive sensor that is appropriate for Class 1 Division 1 area, UL or CSA approved, and preferably 30 millimeters in diameter. Zach, what can you suggest?
We only offer one inductive sensor that has UL and CSA hazardous approvals, and that model is the 973EX4WI-A10T. It is a 30 millimeter diameter with 7 millimeter range. All of our other hazardous location sensors will be Namur outputs and require a barrier for Class 1 Division 1. The Namur sensors have FM approval for hazardous areas and general purpose only for UL and CSA.
In our last question, Zach, this customer would like to know if it is acceptable to connect two 2-wire AC proximity sensors in series.
2-wire AC sensors can be wired in series, but there are a few important things to remember. Proximity sensors have a voltage drop in the on state, so the number of sensors that can be wired in series is limited by this voltage drop, the supply voltage, and the minimum operating voltage of the load. Also, when sensors are wired in series, there will be a short delay in operation.
Well, that concludes this segment of Ask an Expert. I'd like to thank Zach for joining me today and thank our audience as well. For additional information, here are 5 easy ways to connect with us.